Hey guys, we just ranked every individual character in Reverse 1999, and in today's video we're gonna do the exact same thing but with entire teams. Again, I'm gonna show you the final result already, and here it is. We're gonna, at the end of this video, add up onto this tier list, of course. There are some more viable teams in this game that I will mention and rank here. But for now, let's stick with these 6 teams and talk our way through. The first thing that you have to understand is that characters here are ranked based upon their power spikes. For example, it is very important right now to understand the fact that both Liang Yue and Chen Higuang are highly recommended that if you're gonna go for them, you go for them at P2, you know? I shall mention, like, this is not a scenario that applies to newer players or anything like that. You shall invest into characters first and establish yourself like 5 very good teams. And after you have done that, then you can start worrying about establishing portraits for your characters. Alright, so we're gonna rank the characters with their recommended amount of portraits. This is not too much of a big deal, other than, for example, for Liang Yue and Chen Higuang. Those are at P2. We have Flutterpage and Tooth Fairy at P1, and we have Lucy and Nautica at P5, because always when there is a full anniversary, like first anniversary, second anniversary, if there is a main DPS that is going to be released, you're gonna P5 them. That is like just common sense, and you can do this as a free-to-play player absolutely no problem. So with that information being out of the way, we can start talking about the actual tier list here. Let me just mention one more thing, is that if you do have Liang and Cheng at P2, you could also put them at rank number 2 in this tier list. Dynamo, now that we have Enigma for Dynamo, is extremely close now again to this follow-up attack team based around Liang Yue. Without Enigma, this team is rank 2, but like the follow-up attack team would be rank 2 if Dynamo wouldn't have access to Enigma. Now that we know Enigma is going to be a thing and he's going to be the sustain, Dynamo is very close with this follow-up attack team here, so keep that one in mind. You could also say Liang Yue's team is number 2, and I wouldn't argue with you at all. Okay, we have a quite similar scenario here, because look, the best in slot team for the Plantpromptu here on rank number 4 would in theory be with Skipperina in there. This one right here, this is the roster. That would be rank 4. You know what I mean? Now, since the special thing about version 3.4 is that we get a second impromptu team and we want to play in a double impromptu meta. If we now remove Skipperina from the Barcelona team, that team would all of a sudden be way worse and kind of unplayable, even if I'm being honest, because they don't have their signature healer, their signature sustain, you know what I mean? You would have to wing it, and that is never something that you want. That drastically reduces the viability of a team if you have to wing your sustain slot. It's not what you want. That's why Mercurius Euphoria update is a very good replacement, the best replacement in the game, in fact, for Skipperina. So you remove Skipperina from this Plantpromptu team and play it together in the Star Impromptu team with Barcelona, so that you can play double impromptu, you know? That's the whole point. That is very healthy for your account, because you have 2 impromptu team, obviously, right? I don't need to explain that any further, I guess. Now, the problem that occurs with this kind of scenario is that you could do the same thing here with Afterglow and Plantpromptu that you already could also do with Follow-Up and Dynamo. You could switch their rankings, you know what I mean? Yeah, let me tell you. With Skipperina in this lineup, this is definitely gonna be better than Afterglow, and it would receive rank number 4. Now, since we do want to play Kiparina in Plantpromptu and we use Mercuria here. Now, this is where you could make a very, very strong argument, and you would even probably be correct, and move the Afterglow lineup onto rank 4 and put Plantpromptu at rank number 5. So I went ahead and just did it because we want to play Kiparina in Plantpromptu, right? So I think Afterglow edges this Plantpromptu out by just a tiny little bit, right? The Afterglow and Plantpromptu are extremely close, like we are talking about tiny little nuances, and you could even argue which team is better, depends on whatever content you face. That is totally true, you know? The same scenarios with Dynamo and Follow-Up, so keep that in mind. The one team that remains absolutely superior, and there's no question that this is the best team in the game still, is Bloodtide with Nautica, Semmelweis, Sentinel, and Robushka is now in this team. With Medicine Pocket I explained exactly why in my previous video, and I will touch upon this again in just a second. So that is gonna be the tier list here. Let me repeat that. Bloodtide is the best team in the game, no question about it. Number 2 depends a little bit on nuances, on the content that you face. These teams are extremely close here, rank 2 and 3, super close. You can exchange their rankings by your liking, you know what I mean? We're talking about so minimal differences here that it would be complete cherry picking, and it doesn't even matter. These two teams are pretty much on the exact same power level. Same with rank number 4 and rank number 5. So then rank number 6 is, of course, if we play Kiparina in a team still, then the Plantpromptu still remains strong and takes the spot number 6. And those, I would say the first 5 teams at least is the true core of the meta. This is what the game is all about, and those are the teams that you should invest your bunnies into whenever you get a chance. Now, you can make an extended core and say, Plantpromptu is still viable enough. They should count, you know. This is still like also a very, very kind of powerhouse team, and it would belong to the extended core. And from here on out, there are more viable teams, and we would extend the metagame. They wouldn't belong to the true core though. Let me show you what these teams are and talk about them a little bit. Here we have them. We have Poison with the new Euphoria for Willow, Tuesday got a Euphoria, and we got a brand new character with Ramona. So this team saw a massive glow up. The reason why this is not any higher is because they don't have their signature sustain, and Sotheby is a little bit too weak and doesn't really belong to the true meta, to the core meta anymore. She is barely not good enough anymore, and that's why this is the reason why this Poison team suffers a little bit, and Plantpromptu still edges it out. Then we received the Euphoria update in version 3.6 for Recoleta. Here we lack information about how good exactly this Euphoria update will actually turn out. Depending on how it will turn out, it could, in theory, edge out Poison and belong to the 7th rank. Now they could go completely overboard with this Recoleta Euphoria and make her insanely cracked, you know? Not out of the realm of possibilities. Could happen. It will not edge out Plantpromptu though, because it is the exact same scenario that this team doesn't have a sustain. Here is a little bit of a caveat, and this is a way that I'm showing you right now where it could actually edge out Plantpromptu, and this is where Medicine Pocket comes into play. Medicine Pocket is still a very, very good character, super good. The problem that he has is that he can only be played in Bloodtide, and since the ultimate archetype is not or was not good enough anymore, depending on how this Recoleta Euphoria turns out, he will, like, it frees up Robushka. Look, normally we play Robushka in the Ultimate Archetype team as their signature sustain. That makes the team a whole lot better, obviously, you know what I mean? But now, since this Ultimate Archetype team is not good enough anymore, we free up Robushka and we play Robushka now in Blood Tide, which leaves Medicine Pocket to fall off of a cliff, as I explained in my individual character rankings. Now, with this Euphoria update for Recolata, Ultimate Archetype here with Melania and Getian, it could, in theory, be back. They would have to go way overboard with this Recolata Euphoria though, in order for that to happen. If that would occur, then we would put Robushka back into this Ultimate Archetype team. Maybe even that's why they rerun her in version 3.4. It might be the reason, we will find out soon. And if we put Robushka back into the Ultimate Archetype team because Recolata is now way too good, then we can play Medicine Pocket and Blood Tide and it saves the day. Everything is completely fine, you know what I mean? And that would be the scenario in which this Ultimate Archetype team could become rank 6, maybe even rank 5. We gotta wait and see how this Recolata Euphoria turns out to be, and the moment we know, I will give you an update on that scenario. For the information that we have right now, it remains for Medicine Pocket to be useless, Robushka stays in Blood Tide, Medicine Pocket is out, and we still put Recolata and her team here on this list because we keep this Euphoria update for her in the back of our heads. Okay, cool. Then after all of these things, we have Igor with his daughters being quite viable. Again, right, I say this every time, Igor is not crushing it like hardcore. He's a little bit better than Recolata without Recolata's Euphoria, right? That will not be the case any longer. Even if the Recolata Euphoria would be quite bad, she would then still be better than Igor again. So he's not crushing it. Muldir is not individually crushing us as a character, as we all know. Low Para is outdated, so their team is not too great, if I'm being honest, and it barely has any hope. Again, they are also missing their signature sustain character. You could make the same argument with Robushka and Medicine Pocket that I just explained, but this is also not true because that scenario would then occur to the team with Recolata and not the team with Igor anymore. So they are kind of left in the dirt, and at this point we could even put the rank up team here with Marcus, Sabeth, Argus and Via on rank 9. I will actually go ahead and do that now that I said everything that I just said out loud. So there we go, right? Rank up team better than Igor because Igor doesn't have his signature sustain and there is no hope of him getting Robushka into his team because Robushka would then belong to Recolata, as I just said. And that is gonna be the extended metagame. Those, I would say 9 teams. I would, honestly speaking, leave Igor out here completely if it wouldn't be for the hopium that Low Para receives a very good Euphoria at some point, or whoever the mother is of this team, who is, like, you know, Muldir and Low Para are Igor's kids. Who is the waifu? Who is the mother here for this team? Imagine she would release, you know what I mean? Then it will be back. But all we are waiting for is this Euphoria update for Low Para. Whenever this might come, it might elevate this team to new heights, right? Not insane heights, but it would deserve then to have a spot on this list here at least. But yeah, I mean, for now, you could leave this team out completely and say it's not viable because we got this Euphoria update for Recolata, and then, yeah, I mean, who talks about Igor at this point, right? No one. So, I would say these 9 teams here from Blood Tide all the way down to rank up, that is the meta game. That is what it's about. When it comes to bunny investment, who should you invest your Unilogs into? It's the top 5, maybe top 6, you know what I mean? Poison still, unfortunately, a little bit of a future investment. See, we are in 3.4 right now, or very, very soon. It's not even out yet. And at this point, we don't even have Ramona, right? They still don't have a viable sustain character. You could make an argument here as well and say, I don't play Sotheby in this team. I'm going to use someone else. But who do you use? Who else do you use? There's no viable sustain in this game that would be free. You know what I mean? Every single good sustain character is used up. We even go as far as in heading into version 3.6 here with this tier list and use Enigma. Otherwise we would use Ezra, you know? See how we have to wing it with sustain characters? We don't have enough of those. And so who do you replace Sotheby with? There is, honestly speaking, no viable option. There are even teams here that don't even have their support, have their sustain, excuse me, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, there you go. That's my tier list. We have Bloodtide, Dynamo, or Follow-Up. These two teams can be interchanged. Following this up with Afterglow and Plantpromptu, you can exchange the rankings of these two teams as well. And then we have Star and Promptu as the extended core. Now, if we want to wing it a little bit and we want to play more than these 5 to 6 teams, we can play Poison with Willow, Tuesday, Ramona, and Sotheby. Then we can play the Ultimate Archetype team with the Euphoria update for Recoleta, use Melania and Getjan with them, probably get Robushka back in there, right? Medicine Pocket into Bloodtide then. We have rank up with Marcus, Hisabeth, Argus, and Via, and that's going to be the meta game. If you want to go completely crazy and you are like a whale or something, you can play Igor and his daughters as well. And those are going to be the 10 teams that I wanted to present to you today. This is going to be the meta game all the way up to version 3.6. I hope this video was fun and informative. If you like Reverse 1999 content in general, please consider leaving a follow on my channel. I would really appreciate that. But until next time, take care of yourselves, have a great day, and we love this game. Super hype for version 3.4.